What up? What up? Welcome in to Pregaming over here on Sports Money. Happy Monday, June 10th, everybody, 6 p.m. Eastern. You know we can't stop. We won't stop. We're here to give it to you guys. Grinding out the card today. Small Major League Baseball card, but big games nonetheless. We've got the NHL in play. We've got the WNBA in play as well, and we've got action across the board. So get ready. It's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. We're just getting started on this thing here. We're into week number 2, going with some content every day for you guys. Shout out over the weekend. MMA Jeff gets it done there, winning the Pub Sports Radio UFC contest. Shout out Jeff. And, of course, we got our guy Subhuman Gaucho rolling 2-1 on their early UFC looks to cook the books. A lot of fun happening out there with First Strike as well. And more to come this week. So stay tuned, you guys. We're just building here. We're just getting started, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see the journey. Surround yourself with good people that like to take it serious. They're winning cappers. They're winning personalities, and what else can go wrong? Now let's talk about what's going to go right for us this week here. We've got Major League Baseball. I mentioned that. We've got ourselves big NHL games this week, big NBA games this week, and the WNBA floating around with some of them Commissioner Cup games as well. There's soccer moving all throughout the world here as they get ready for the international friendlies and the FIFA qualifiers. It's going to be all kinds of things fast and furious this week. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and smash that thumbs up button for us. We got to get this thing popping. We need to get to 100. Sounds like we get a contest coming up here if we can get 100 likes on this video out there. Free money. Who doesn't want free money? You guys are coming in watching the show anyways. Just hit the thumbs up button. Smash it for us. And show us you like what we're doing here. Show us you appreciate the content. Just hanging out. Hey, even if you don't like the content, come on in here and smash the like button anyways. Help us grow this thing. It does truly matter more than you guys have any idea out there. You know, the analytics and trying to crack in to the 6 p.m. space is a difficult one, especially when you're just building a new channel from the ground up. Lots more coming, though. We need graphics work. We need to get more shows online for you guys. We got all kinds of things that are really happening here, and we got a lot to do, and you guys know the deal. We don't have a lot of time to do it, so let's get to it there. You guys smash that thumbs up button, grab the pen and paper, and last but not least, get your place in the chat. Let's see what you guys are on. Love to talk about the heaters you guys have been rolling on, and sometimes them heaters pick up somebody else when they're on a downer like I had yesterday, so trying to get it back, man. Even at the end of the day yesterday with them Dallas Mavericks, like I got the +7. I'm feeling good about it, and it gets to a 7. I'm like, give me a break here. Let's go. But hey, we get that done. You know, sometimes those losing days happen, and you just make your way for more winners. I'll tell you what. I looked at today's Major League Baseball card. There wasn't even. We put the work in. Trust you me. I don't want to make it sound like we didn't get to work on this thing, but. Whoo, there's some great opportunities tonight. I got a real treat for you guys, too. The last Major League Baseball game. Real treat. I texted a couple of the fellas today. I talked about that, and everybody got jacked up when they heard about it. So I can't wait to share that with you guys. Just the stones that we turn over to get it done. Now, I was over on the sesh this morning with Major League Baseball, sneak peek. Look, if you guys are hitting prop guys or girls, and you're trying to go out there and get it done, tread lightly today. I talked about this earlier today. Just looking across the board with all these now projected have moved to confirmed lineups. Lots of first-time facing pitcher action on almost every team. If you look at starting right off the gate with this Baltimore and Tampa game out there, not a single hitter has, of course, seen Ryan Pepio. On the other side with Corbin Burns, we've got two guys that have had any success rate, 4 hits or 4 at-bats for Ahmad Rosario, 1 hit, no RBIs. Richie Palacios, 2 at-bats, 1 hit, 500, no RBIs. And that's just one game as it goes down the board. So tread lightly. Tread lightly. Now, that doesn't mean that these guys can't go out there and smack the ball out of the yard. Just an observation as I ground down the card for you guys. Let's see what's going on in the chat, and then let's get to work. We got to get this thing moving. You guys know the deal. I want to get you guys in and out in 30 minutes. I want to hit the comments. But we need to see the thumbs up, you guys. Want to see more action? You want to see more content? You want to see more programming? Show us that you want to see it there. Make your voices loud and proud. And let's keep growing this thing together by winning, growing bankrolls, and having a lot of damn fun while we do it. Let's see who's out there. Joe T out there early today, 2 p.m. Joe T, you got to get, you know what they say? You got to get up early in the morning, and that's exactly what it's going to take to beat out Joe T coming in here. Dropping the first comment of the day for us says, Joe T, best bet. The Kansas City Royals team total over 3.5. We got to get our guy Joe T a nice best bet name in there. Something that's silky smooth, like, I don't know, something that's silky smooth, but sounds like a fire-breathing fucking dragon. We need something that's badass, Joe T. Let's go, my guy. I appreciate you coming in there, rocking with us. Kansas City Royals, team total over 3.5 for our guy, Joe T. And there's our guy, David Wallace, in there. He likes Baltimore and the Giants tonight, says everyone, let's go. David Wallace says, Joe, I need to get in KC with you today. And he likes the team total over 3.5 as well. There's our guy, Deer Slayer Ski in the house, says, what's good, boys? I'm on Edmonton to score the first so far. Let's get it. Excited to talk about that game. Excited. Craig Wilkinson says, let's get that money. Good to see you, Craig. And Joe T says, yes, sir, David. Subhuman, there he is. I was just talking about the work these fellas did with the UFC this weekend. And the 2-1 early looks there. First Strike, Volume 1 has been released. They're going to be working on Volume 2. I've already seen them getting into the grind. That's how money is made. They don't sleep on those cards. They go out there and they fire. Shout out to Subhuman Gaucho. We got the boys rolling. Justin McKelvey says stacks play of the day. Yordan Alvarez over 1.5 bases plus 117. And you'll see what our guys doing out there. Like that Yordan Alvarez call. They talked about that this morning on the sesh. We talked about a lot of stuff on the sesh this morning. I called Debbie. I said, I had a good time on that show today. Good time on that show today. And hey, you know what? Someone's getting shit talked. It's just a matter of who it is. You don't know until you know. And then you know. And that's all you know. Kenny Wood says, what's up, Mike? Joe T and gang. Kenny Wood in the house. Good to see you, Ken Wood. Gerald Jones says, what's good? Pimp and Crew best bet. He likes the Colorado, Minnesota over 8. You know we'll be talking about that play. And here we go. The Subhuman Gaucho hockey play of the day. The Oilers first to 5 shots on goal at even money. At even money for our guy Sub out there giving us that look on that thing. Let's go. We got Beavis in the house. Says, what's up, guys? Just got the Raising Canes and got fucking Raising Canes is awful, dude. It's awful. It's awful. Beavis, come on. Go to fucking Arby's or something else. You know what I mean? Go to 7-Eleven. I bet you they got better chicken fingers than Raising Canes. Shout out to 7-Eleven, rocking pretty much on the 24/7. Subhuman Gaucho says, also on the full game under 5.5. The line's starting to move to the under. Still tend to like it. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm on official for those games, for a lot of these games. I'll share some trends with you on plays that I didn't officially pull the trigger on that I still like as well. There's my guy, Nasty Nate. Shout out to his Boston Celtics. Big 2-game series lead against them Mavericks down there in Dallas this week here. We'll see if they even bother bringing Jason Tatum with them. But shout out to you, Nasty Nate. It's good to see you. AKA the Mechanic, AKA Mr. Trifecta, AKA second quarter guy, AKA gifting the kids cars. How about that guy there? Nasty Nate seems like just a stand-up family dad out there. Let's go, my guy, Nasty Nate. Juggler 23, MLB trend of the night. Teams that win the first 3 games of a 4-game series on the road win game 5, 11.5% of the time. A play on Tampa Bay. I will get to that game. I'm excited to get to that game. Juggler 23. I talked about that game yesterday. I talked about this game yesterday before they shit the bed in the game that they played yesterday. I'm excited about that one. MLB trend of the night. Teams that win. Oh, I just covered that one. I just read that one down the line out there. Joe T says, yes, please hit the like button for us. If we get 100 likes, I'll do a video. That's what we want to see. A Joe T special. Let's go. Let's get that, guys. 100 likes for our guy, Joe T, to come out there and give us a video sharing why he likes the play of the day. That's going to be some fun stuff. Subs and smaller wagers. Bennett point. Forsling point. Barkov over 2.5 shots on goal. Setting on first goal scores. Let's see what we can get there for our guy Subhuman Gaucho. Fellas are ready to roll. Winner Circle says, hey, yo, Sun Fever. I got to stop saying Suns. Sun Fever. Under 159.5. Let's go. There's Trisha M. says, incredible omission in the opening of the Ice Cats. Killing it Saturday night, too. Not an omission. Intentional. Florida Panthers. Earl, there's our guy Nick Earl in the house. Earl Sports Bet. Yeah, we got this show rolling. Nick, He says Florida Panthers money line. He likes Connor McDavid under 1.5 points at -120 as well. Certainly want to recognize what our guy Nick Earl's bringing to the table. Good to see you, Nick. Real Deal Prime likes the Oilers. Juggler 23 says, killed the UFC card. 6 out of 20. 20. I don't know where the 20 came from. 6 out of 7 winners. Excellent work, Juggler 23. Them boys were firing this weekend. Then I made the mistake of fading them on a play that they did a video on, and of course they won and I lost. That's the way it goes. What are you going to do? Hey, there's Mel. Hey, Mike, you can see my messages here. Mel, I did reach out. I did let the gang know that shit ain't right, that they got to either assign some wrenches or really spend some time trying to figure out the problem. So I did fast track that up the pike to the top. So stay tuned. We'll see what they come up with. It's a message. It's still a problem with YouTube. YouTube they couldn't answer the problem for me. They still didn't know. They said it's got to be something on the other side. So we'll see what them boys come back with for us to see if we can't get them comments rolling for you in the chat. We had a nice fun live stream last night. It was a really, the conversation the game worked out the way we thought it would, where there weren't those huge ebbs and flows of the spots in terms of totals or sides. So it afforded us the opportunity to kind of kick it around and talk about how we cap, what we look for, numbers, trends. It was fun. It was a lot of fun last night. So shout out to the crew. Voodoo Ranger in the house says, correlating with Mike, I have 3 unders, hits, allowed, props. Yeah, it seems like that's the card tonight. Lucky Power says, what's up, pimp? What's up, Lucky Power? Justin McKelvey likes the Oilers money line and the under 5.5 parlay at +280. There's Big Scott 510 says, plays for tonight. Florida -1, Verhaeghe goal +160, Bouchard goal +350, and I'll sprinkle on a goal parlay at +1,000. Likes the Brewers money line and the Royals money line for Big Scott 510. Good to see you, Big Scott 510. Thanks for coming in and posting your action for us. Lucky Power says, smash the like, people. Only takes a second. That's what I'm saying. Takes one damn second. If you're watching us on a tablet or your phone, just X out of the comments real quick. Hit that thumbs up button, then go back into live chat. That might take you 6 seconds. That might take you 6. Big Scott says, good luck on your action tonight, Mikey. Thank you, Big Scott. It's great to see you in here. Mel likes to race to 5 shots on goal with Edmonton at even money. I like the way you guys are getting to the bank with this stuff. That makes it a lot of fun. Justin McKelvey says, I have the Panthers in the series. And there's Nut Flush Allen says, what's up, boys and girls? Dustin's in the house has heard a crazy trend today. The Astros have won their 67th game of the year for 12 years in a row, now facing the Giants. That's right, Dustin. And tonight is game number 67. We'll take the excitement out of that game before we get there, and we'll share it with you guys right now. How about that? Game number 67. I dropped one of those trends earlier this year. I think it was game 44. Was it game 44 for the Marlins? Similar spot. Doesn't happen that often. I was firing that thing around like a hot potato today. Juggler 23 says, Trisha M, are you on the Panthers tonight? You know Trisha M's on the Panthers tonight. You know it. Taking all that horse racing money she won and putting it on the Panthers, I'm sure. Good luck. Mel in the house says, at Earl Sports, hi, Nick. I'm happy to be holding a +155 ticket on the Florida Panthers game 1 and the series winner double out there for Mel. Jose Sierra says, Mikey Money, WNBA, Connecticut Sun, -10.5. Halftime, -6.5 for Jose Sierra. It's good to see him out there. And Nick's responding to Earl. Says Nick's responding to Mel. There's a lot of ease in that little space that I'm looking at there. It says, Mel, nice. I was going to bet that, but just riding out the Panthers +1,000 to win the cup from February. Damn, that'd be a nice hit. Nice little 10-1. Right in the dog days of summer. Bella Coots in the house. What's up, Bella Coots? Says Baltimore moneyline -140 and taking the over 5.5 in the NHL game. My guy Gerardo Hernandez says, sup, Mike? Sup, G? Good to see you. There's Jay Peasy in the house. What up, motherfuckers? He says, let's go. Flea Mathis says, you lean aside in the Astros-Giants game. I didn't just lean aside. I took a side. I took the Astros. Fucking 67. Game number 67, in fact. We'll talk about it shortly. Fletcher Berry says, what's good, boys? Let's get this cash. Gerardo likes the Oilers. And Nick says Raising Cane's is fucking garbage. I agree. You know what? I agree, Nick. There's something we both do agree on. And that's very seldom that Nick and I agree. But Raising Cane's is fucking garbage. So let's get that right up on the big screen. And let's let him know. Juggler 23, there we go. We got the wise guy group play. He likes the Sun -10. And Caitlin Clark under the points, rebounds, and assists at 31.5. Their plays are now 18-10. That's a pretty fucking impressive. 18-10. And you guys see him here every day from our guy Juggler23. He brings in the trends. He brings in the chat. He shares you guys the news, what they got going on, and he's keeping the record for you guys. Take a look at that. Although I don't agree with one side of that tonight, but we'll see what happens. Shout out there. We got Voodoo Ranger says Paddock under 5.5 hits allowed -120. Rhea under 5.5 hits allowed -135. Barrios under 5.5 hits, a +105. And Gerardo says, yeah, all games should go under in the NHL. There's Tarek B in the house. What up, Tarek? Earl Sports says, just saying, the Corgi predicted Boston, Dallas, Boston, Dallas. Nick, I'll say this, though. The Corgi had some kind of fuckery with that Game 7. If you know, you know. If you saw it, you saw it. They had to reshoot it. I don't know if that affects the Corgi trend out there. Juggler23 says, Game 4, my mistake. No worries. And let's go. Let's get to work there. Trisha says, yes, sir, there is a pregame concert by the one and only DJ Khaled. He'll be playing his best song, All I Do Is Win. Take notes, Oilers. I'll tell you what, little known fact, that is Connor McDavid's favorite song. So I don't know. Is that a little reverse juju for this game that's going on out there? I don't know if that's true. I'm just starting the rumor. So why not? I can start a rumor. I'm on the camera. I'll start whatever fucking rumor I want. Let's go. Voodoo Ranger says Lean Rodon under 17.5 outs. Lugo under 17.5 outs. And Sub says, I tend to like the Oilers money line here as well, Gerardo, but not getting to the window. Maybe live. Nasty Nate's putting the wrenches out there. All right, let's get to work, you guys. Let's get into this thing here. We will get back to what you guys have rolling here shortly. This is going to be a tricky little day for us. It's going to be a tricky day. You guys probably aren't going to like the stuff that I got going on today. And I'll be honest, it makes me like it even more. I think this is an opportunity here. Let's talk about this first game. I see you guys on it. I see what's happening with it. And I don't care. In fact, it's now +130. So I will just do a quick edit into the equation. Here's the deal. I talked about these. Well, let me start by the numbers. Let me get myself I get too excited. I get too carried away. And then I forget to give you guys the splits. And then I'm talking about why this team's winning before you even see what I'm talking about. We got this Baltimore Orioles team started at -172. They're -141. 79% of the bets and 92% of the cash. All over this Baltimore Orioles team. Where's Nick Earl? Nick, there's no way Baltimore doesn't win this game today. Come on, Nick. I can hear you saying it. Let's go. Then we look at this total. It's gone from 7.5 to 7. 95% of the bets, 92% of the cash like this over, and it's gone down to 7. I talked about this, taking the puck, taking the run line +1.5. This to me feels like it's a one-run game. This 4-3, 3-2, something to that effect. You're not sweeping a team at home. I get it. And all I heard all day today is Corbin Burns. He's got a 2.26 ERA. He's playing a 6-2. I get it. Pepio on the other side, 3.96 ERA, 4-2. You're not sweeping a team at home. Not in Tampa, not in the AL East. Here's a couple things you got going on. Baltimore, I'll give you guys the exact numbers. How about that? Let me find the exact numbers in this thing here. Let me see if I can find, now that I say that, let me see if I can find them. Baltimore, 19-12 on the road. That's against the spread. I'm sorry. Baltimore, there we go. 21-10 these O's are on the road this year. They're crushing everybody out there. And then we look at home. We got Tampa Bay, 17-21. I believe the 500 rule is a huge factor for what's going on in these games right now. The last 10 games, for Tampa Bay, 5-5. This is where the mathematics and kind of that, however my brain may malfunction, the things that it does really well and better than most is fucking number computations, fucking advanced mathematics and analytics. And when I look at these games here and I start to analyze who's well over the 500 mark, who's just under, then I compound in there what's going on in these conferences or in these divisions. This, and the fact that last but not least, a team trying to get swept at home on a Monday carryover day where they're about to pop off for travel and have to play catch up. Not fucking happening. I don't care. Now, that being said, teams off and over by less than 7 runs are 27-4 if their starter had the quality start and a short line besides +110 the previous time and won the game by multiple runs. In that dog roll, off a quality start in the dog roll, As long as the over didn't go over by more than 7, it wasn't the blown load egregious over. They're 27-4, specifically focusing in on the pitcher. Now, I'm not honing in just on what's going on here with Baltimore because I do believe in some of that Corbin Burns effect. I think there's certainly an opportunity for this guy to go out there and shove, especially against Tampa. Now, you guys might be saying, I haven't looked at the comments here. Let me flip back over. I guarantee somebody said Tampa stinks against righties. Let's see. I don't want to pick on anybody. This isn't the sesh. I don't want to pick on anybody. But everybody sucks today against everybody. There's no good numbers across the Major League Baseball betting board today. If your only argument for Baltimore is that Tampa doesn't hit righties, you better find a new one because right now we got a plus 130 spot out there. And look, I looked at the plus one. It's like minus 112. Like on DraftKings, you can pick up the plus one at minus 112. Okay. I mean, if you want to have that kind of insurance piece in the back pocket, I do think, again, lower scoring game, opportunity to get the job done, not getting swept at home. The AL East battles each other to 500, and Baltimore right now up on the series 3-0. I think this is a great Tampa Bay spot. That's how I am opting to get paid. Again, now it is plus 130. You got to argue. You got to decide to yourself. Argue with yourself is what I was going to say. And I don't know if you're arguing with yourself, you might look like a fucking psycho. So maybe that's not the right way to do it. But ask yourself, am I comfortable taking the 1.5 runs and laying the minus 135? Not mad at anybody that wants to do that. And again, the plus one at minus one. This is a long term. This is the sprint and the marathon factor. And anytime we can get an extra third of a unit on top without the exposure of risking that third of a unit like we're doing here ensures that if this is a battle blowout buster from Baltimore, then, we're not eating more than just the unit. We're not paying the juice and the vig on that thing. So it should be a one-run game. I expect it to be 4-3 in favor of Tampa Bay. When we look at these numbers, and I talked to you guys about that 27-4 trend, they're actually winning by just over 2.25 runs per game. That's how I'm getting started. Game number 1 on the card. I'm sure I stoked a bunch of fires with that one. Let's see what's going on. JPZ likes the Mariners 6-0 at home on Mondays after week 1, undefeated at home. First game of a series. Whitesox 0-8 on Monday. How do I bet the M's? I'm not laying minus 200, but I'm pretty sure they will. We're going to talk about that game, JPZ, and I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about implied probability. Maybe you guys are familiar with it and better versed in it than I am, but it's part of that mathematical process that I don't even have to write it down. It just, when I see the numbers, because they're whole numbers based on a scale of 100, the numbers break down a lot faster in my head when I start to plug these two together. And I'm going to tell you this, the implied probability at a minus 210 for the Seattle Mariners, stay tuned. I'm not going to get it. I don't want to steal the thunder. We've already talked about the last game in the Major League Baseball card. Big Scott says, take the under, Peasy. I do like that under. Philly Eagle Flyer says, on. First period draw. Panthers in regulation. First period under 1.5. Royals, Rays, M's, Pads, tied after second innings. Love to know how your tied after second innings numbers are doing, Philly Eagle Flyer. I don't know if you're tracking that or what's going on. I told you earlier in the baseball season, I saw you doing that. Innovative. I love to see somebody try to grab the proverbial bull by the horns. I'd love to see what those numbers are doing out there. Nutflush Allen says, Peasy, what's your team total number out there? And Peasy says under, and he throws up. Peasy's not an under guy. I don't believe he likes them unders. Stirring Co says, your friend's curse didn't work, but I know you know Puck. Yeah. You know, it's even better. I think, what was that, Saturday, right? That was Saturday that the game was on, and I was lit on our little live stream there, and I texted him, and I kept telling him to live bet the Oilers. I even got another response this morning from him. He's still down there in Florida. Anyways, he's probably going to see DJ Khaled. Let's see. Voodoo Ranger says NHL parlay piece. Aaron Ekblad, 2+ block shots. Now there's a spot that I can get behind. A little block shot action. Flea Mathis says, is anyone going to be live for the hockey game tonight? We'll see. See, I'll ask the fellas what's going on here. We talked a little bit about doing something. Flea Mathis is, I just said that. What an asshole I am, Flea. JPZ says, Nutflush Allen, team total 4.5. I don't trust the M's to score 5, not on a total of 7. Yikes. Amsterdam, what else says, let's go good. Lucky all. Nutflush says, what price? Our team total whisperer. And Beavis gives us the pick of the day alert. Raising Cane's chicken tenders with extra crispy and cane sauce. Edmonton Oilers money line. I know you guys talk about this Raising Cane's and the Texas toast that goes with it. I don't want a piece of Texas fucking toast with my chicken fingers and fries. Make the chicken fingers better and maybe give me a side of coleslaw or something. I don't know. I get it with the dipping sauce for the, that's too much. I guess maybe I'm not Southern boy. I guess maybe it's because I'm in New York. I don't need the Texas. I mean, it looked good. I didn't eat it though. I asked anybody else if they wanted it. And I didn't really fuck with the sauce either. It wasn't my thing. I don't know. It's not my thing. Mel says, anyone else like Bob over 24.5 saves? Man, he looked pretty solid the other day though, didn't he? Jeez, man, he was rolling all. He looked like young Dominic Hasek out there, the way he was playing out there. PZ's telling him what the price was. And Sub says, Sam Bennett to break McDavid's jaws. Only plus 120? Only plus 120? Shit. All right, let's get back to work here. Let's get back to business. Keep putting them in there, you guys. I will keep reading them off. Let's go on to game number 2. 7:40 p.m. We got ourselves. Oh, shit. You know what I just realized I got to do? Bear with me for 1 second. We're going to get into this Colorado-Minnesota game. You guys are talking about it. I personally am a fan of this game as well, and I'm going to attack it just like way you guys are laying it down with the addition, with the one addition. Sorry, I got to get this play in here because it's going to start momentarily. Well, not momentarily, but we're clearly not going to make the 6:30 mark as it turns out. So that's on me. That's on me. I love you guys coming in, sharing the action, man. It's fun to see who's on what. Then we talk about it offline, and like this guy was doing this and this guy was doing that. Fernando Mendoza, check your DMs, my guy. Let's go. Good to see you in there. Justin McKelvey says Westberg over 1.5 bases at plus 130 in pocket. Nutflesh says Rays offense is bad in general right now. They are. But you know who else's offense is bad in general right now? I'm not talking about this game, so I'll talk about it right now. The Padres. And fuck that scrub that was talking shit earlier today about not knowing baseball. I specifically said they haven't won shit in the last month, since June 1st. And they said they haven't covered a team total over since June 1st. And they've covered it twice. They covered the run line twice, and they covered the team total twice. Meanwhile, they lost 10 or 9 or 10 games on top of that. So that being said, I get you, Nutflesh, Allen. I hear you. That Rays offense is definitely something to be desired. But look across the board today. Look across the board. There's zeros on every single game. The majority of 7 of 9 batters on every team hasn't seen the pitcher that they're facing today on every single game in Major League Baseball, for what that's worth. Now you got to ask, do I want to drop minus 130s or do I want to take plus 130s? I don't know. Long-term, short-term, but I get you. And, of course, you guys know Nutflush Allen is our resident team total whisperer. When he drops that team total question, you better take a note. You better write that shit down and get it done. Ice Cats, money line, plus over 5.5 goals for Trisha M. Says we can let them score 1 or 2 tonight. Nutflush going back and forth. There's Subhuman Gaucho. He says, adding one more NHL bet. Teaser parlay. Oilers plus 2.5. Panthers plus 2.5. Full game under 6.5. I kind of like that. Kind of like that. Sub says Peg has been doing great with those bets. No, he has a bad day here and there, but he was hitting 50-ish% with a line way above even money out there. Philly Eagle Flyers has got wrecked yesterday. Yesterday was a shit day. He says April and May were profitable, starting down this halfway through last year. Let's go. All right, let's go down to this game here. Let's talk about this Rockies and Twins. 7:40 Eastern start. Minus 205. Money pouring in on the Twins. Steamed, jacked, everything else, and then some under the sun. 92% of the bets, 95% of the cash on the Minnesota Twins. Then you look at the total. 8.5. 87% of the bets and 83% of the cash. This 8s have now moved to 8.5. I locked in Colorado over 8 earlier today. I know, shout out to our guy, Razor Sharp Picks, his Gambler's First Glance, or his Razor's Edge from the sesh. He's doing incredible this year with the Razor's Edge. And he locked in the Minnesota over. I'll tell you this, the Rockies, 4-18 against this, 4-18 straight up. Following the game, they scored 2 or fewer runs. And they've lost 8 in that spot. The implied probability on this Colorado-Minnesota Twins game means 92 out of 100 times they play, Minnesota wins this game. That's what you're facing when you look at a minus 240. Minus 240 says there's a 8 times out of 100 the Colorado Rockies are going to win. It might not be exactly that number, but it's about 8 out of 100 times they play, Colorado's going to win. You got to ask yourself with Chris Paddock, is that the guy that you want to back those numbers behind? Now, that being said, though, The over-under, 15-7 to the over in those games for the Rockies where they scored 2 or fewer runs. Granted, they've lost 8. 15-7 to the over in those spots. Then you look at Chris Paddock. Chris Paddock's gone 21-6 when he's a favorite, going all the way back to 2021, which is fucking remarkable because he is dog shit. But he's got 8 straight wins out there. So you got the battle of 8s. The Rockies in the 0-8 spot. Paddock and the Twins in the 8-0 spot. Ultimately, for me, the way I looked at this one is I'm not backing the Twins, losing 5 straight. Finally getting a win on Sunday. Did have the blown load effect, though. They did have 11 runs on Sunday. The way I chose to attack this one is the runs. I'm with you guys on the 8. It's now 8.5, so you might have to pay up a little bit to get back to that 8. I also added the Minnesota first 5 team total over 2.5. Dakota Hudson will be throwing batting practice out there for this Minnesota Twins offense here. Finally feeling better coming off that 11-run win. Granted, there's lots of travel factored in from the Sunday to Monday spot, but the Rockies, right-handers, kind of struggling with the command. Dakota Hudson should be putting that ball on a tee for these boys to go out there and smack this thing. You know, flip side of things, I kind of like this as a little insurance bet because if I should say Chris Paddock and the Rockies, ultimately, probably the worst hitting team in baseball. So a couple of those two together. And the 8 to me gets me a little bit. That being said, you know, Paddock has had his struggles, though. I keep saying he's a pile of dog shit. Let me quantify it for you. 11 earned runs over his last 9.2 innings. That's 2 starts. He has leaked like an oil can in his last 2 starts. He should give a couple up to this Colorado Rockies team. I think that Colorado probably gets 2 to 3. It's probably McMahon. I mean, there's nothing sexy about McMahon's numbers. He's the guy that goes out there and mashes for this Colorado Rockies team. But in that shortened window of time that we like to look at, we also have the benefit of bullpens that have been struggling as well. The Minnesota Twins, 4.26 bullpen. The Rockies bullpen, 7.0. The last week and some change, maybe 27 innings pitched in those processes. It's a run fest. One last component that I forgot to add in there for what's going on with this Minnesota Twins team. Royce Lewis is back. That was a big bat that was missing out of their lineup that came back about, I think it was 3 games ago. And so now they kind of get back to their routine. They're going to see a lot of guys getting put on base by, I think, both Chris Paddock and, you know, and the flip side of things out there with Dakota Hudson. Dakota Hudson's definitely a pitch to contact guy. I think there's a lot of reason to believe we see runs in this game, and that's the way I'm playing it. So give me that Minnesota Twins first 5 team total over 2.5. Give me the Colorado Rockies game itself over 8 as well. Let's see what else is going on. Justin McKelvey said the Westbrook over 1.5 bases. I covered that. We talked about that. Nutflesh says, I don't know if Baltimore is a team that just takes the day off. I see them wanting to stack every win possible. I agree, but didn't they say that isn't Rutschman out of the lineup? Yep. Never a good sign when you're taking out a key bat too. So the line has moved back, though. It went from 126 back up plus 130. We'll see what happens out there. Let's see. Damn surprised to hear it, but you'll get it back, Pef. Yeah. Raising JPZ agrees. Raising Cane's is trash. How about some seasoning them? Yeah, right? I don't know, man. If all you do, I was surprised that there's a place that only does chicken fingers. I still can't believe that. It's the fucking back of the kids menu at all the restaurants around here. But anyways, I'll start talking about Raising Cane's and I'm going to get hungry on top of that. So let's roll on. 8:10 p.m. New York Yankees, Kansas City Royals. We've already heard the Joe T play of the day. The Kansas City Royals team total over. There you go. Little double dipper. Little opportunity for some fun. The sweaty 6 in this son of a bitch is down at minus 113. We got this line open up. Yankees road favorites of minus 130. We have 79% of the bets and 91% of the cash on the Yanks. The line has dropped 10 cents to minus 120. The total in the game, 80% of the bets, 80% of the cash. This line opened at 8.5. It's sitting hard at 8.5. It's been sitting there all damn day when you look at these numbers out there. And we got Lugo and Rodon. So let's start with the Nerfy. Rodon, 3.08 ERA, 8-2 on the season. Lugo, 2.13 ERA, 9-1 on the season. These are aces of both of these staffs And I think we see that shine through when it comes down to this game. Both these teams, in terms of the struggles and you look at kind of what's going on across the board here, you could say, look, the over makes a lot of sense. The Yurfie, 3 games without Juan Soto, the Yankees are averaging 3.33 runs a pop in those early inning spots out there. I'm just not buying it. Lugo, to me, 2.13 ERA, maybe due for some regression as things kind of get rolling down on there. But I believe the first time through the order, these guys have the opportunity to go out there and shake and bake. We look at these things here. When you talk about what's going on for the Yankees, when they win as a dog, that following game, they're 11-0-1 to the under. I need a strong under trend for a team for me. I need to see that the money's moving towards the under or that it's not moving towards the over. Last but not least, the Royals 2+ up factor. If you're looking for the 2 up token, I know you guys asked me a lot of those, where should I use it? Where should I use it? I would consider it on the Yankees in this spot here. Ultimately, Seth Lugo, 11 of his 13 starts, they've gone up 2 runs on the season. So 2+ run will cash for you, I believe confidently, with this Kansas City spot here. But I went to the game under. I want to ride that trend. I want to see that the cash isn't moving against the under in this spot. Both these guys should go out there and shove today. And I don't expect, especially being the travel day with the Yankees schedule got all kind of, discombobulated there where they had delays, they had rain conditions, they had the Dodgers going out there. The Dodgers were smashing them like the baby seal that they were. And, they were able to finally win that last game as the dog, which means that after those spots, they kind of take that sigh, that collective sigh, and then exhale, and they end up having a lower scoring game. Do they win this game? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's a Kansas City spot, but I think they can get through the top of the order. First 3 pitchers, Sweaty, 6 them up for us. First 6 hitters, I should say. Nerfy at -113 as well. I don't like to get into those things when they're over like -125. Just too much ground to make back up when push comes to shove out there. And I think these guys can get the shove in there for us. So it's a double spot. Nerfy for a little fun. Yankees under 8.5. And let's go on. I've got 3 more spots for you guys here. 3 more major league spots. Let's jump right into it. I'll give it to you guys right off the pop. Going to these Brewers. Thought about adding the first 5 to the Brewers. We'll see what happens as I get closer to game time here. 8:10 p.m. Eastern start. 73% of the bets, 69% of the cash on them Brew Pops. This line went from -108 to -120. So you've got cash coming in. You've got the correlated movement. Somebody asked the other day what they use these tools now. They've just gotten them and they're trying to figure it out. We look at the percentage of bets to typically represent public bettors, the soup, the props, the $5 lotto parlay plays. Everything kind of goes into where the percentage of bets are. Then we look at the percentage of cash and we think, all right, well, that's probably going to be bigger bettors. That's going to probably be a little bit sharper bettors, the guys that have a big backpack of cash that aren't fucking around with parlays and props. And where are they putting their money? And then we want to see how Vegas is reacting, or how the books, I know it's not just Vegas, just old hat to say Vegas, how the books react to those numbers. And in this case here, money's coming in pretty fluidly on this Milwaukee Brewers team, and they're showing concern. It's now gone to -120. The total, oops, I fucked that up. 94% of the bets and 92% of the cash on the over. This has not budged. Sitting at 8.5. Bottom line for you guys with this one for me. Bottom line. We'll start with the bottom line first. And that's pretty much the only line for me. This is the road fade trend for Jose Berrios. He does have a 2.8 ERA on the season. He is 5-4. We did just see, Toronto handle Oakland. Shout out Jimmy the Bag with his fucking Gausman win. Sucked me into that on Saturday. On the other side of things, Colin Rea, 3.53 ERA, 4-2 on the season. Plays better at home. I got to roll into this one here because I firmly believe this is the old fade-a-roo spot for Berrios. Between -125 and +125, Berrios is a loser. Let me see. I just lost my note that I had for the other side. Not just my arbitrary opinion. If you monetize it, he has not won in those spots. Furthermore, let me see. Where is it? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? The Blue Jays, 0-4-1. The first 5 is road dogs when Berrios starts. I told you, he's a loser. The Blue Jays are also 2-8. First 5 money line is road dogs versus right-handed pitchers. You know what? I am adding this back in. I'm going to add back in this first 5 too. I cut it, and I didn't want to cut it, and I cut it anyways, and I still can't find the Berrios number that I wanted to get involved with, but let's see. Where is it? We got to keep it going. It doesn't matter. They lose when Berrios is on the bump, and I believe they do that again tonight. Last but not least, the dogs in the first game of a series are 2-25 if they off a win as a favorite. That's not just Berrios. That's just dogs in Major League Baseball, 2-25. And they're getting touched up. They're losing by 3.25 runs a spot in those opportunities. So it is definitely a fade opportunity there. The first 5 was -110. Let me see what the first 5 is now for the Brew Crew. I think they get it done today. Now -120. So we've seen some line movement as the day has progressed. -120, -122, -125s, -128s out there now. So the best number you're going to catch there is going to be a -120. The first 5. Oh, I know why I cut it. I'm going to play it anyways. I got -110. I got -110. The reason I said I know why I cut it was because I was just looking and I saw FanDuel's offering the best number. You guys know my relationship in that spot. But let's see if we can break that bubble. Let's see if we can burst that bubble and get ourselves a little Colin Ray of Milwaukee, first 5 Milwaukee full game winner out there. Rob McMahon says Royals on DraftKings up 2 here, Pimp. Yeah, that's the one I like for it. I like that spot. Justin McKelvey says Royals over 8.5 in his pocket. David Wallace on the Yankees up too early as well. I mean, look, road team. I get it. I just don't see it. But I get it, David Wallace. Jason Mayer's in the house says, what you think on the under or OT in the hockey game? We're going to talk that very shortly. And we're going to keep it rolling, you guys. This is a big divisional spot for the Yankees game off that big series with the Smurfs, and had to jump on the plane and travel to sleepy KC. That's where I think the bats will start out a little sluggish there. David Wallace, I'm just going to follow all my bets today and make it easy. I don't know, man. I mean, look, it's a bounce back opportunity for me. Let's go. Nutflush says, you know this, JPZ. Jason Mayer says, I took the Panthers -125 and your Brewers -120 with some other things. Should be interesting. Fernando Mendoza likes the Brew Crew and the over 8.5. And Sub says the Jimmy the Bag versus Mikey Money drama over Gausman is always good for a laugh. I skipped that game too. And I knew it when I saw Gausman. I was like, man, I fucking hate this guy. He's terrible. And then I got on that horse racing stream, and next thing you know, I'm playing in on them boys. Let's roll on. This one's got, I know you guys are going to not like this one. Again, I added the first 5 -110 to this Brewer spot. So there is an ad for me, and I will recap all the action at the end of the show. Yep. Your eyes are not playing tricks on you. This is just simple. Now look, do they win? I hope so. I put the +0.5 in there at +102 in case that's the direction you want to go. This is probability. This is mathematics. This is +130s like we saw in Tampa, +160s for the White Sox. This is how you got to play baseball in the summer. Long term, we're going to win over the heat of the battle, not just necessarily every single game, but you start taking these +160s and they add up. Now, just like I talked about Tampa Bay +1, if you want to protect against the push, +0.5 is +102. You fuck up the overall bankroll mathematics over the course of the long haul of the season with a volume game if you take the +0.5 at +102. But that's okay. I mean, nothing's worse than having a +160. You're up 1-0, and some asshole hits a run in the bottom of the 5th inning, and now you push saying, I should have had that +0.5. Maybe you do 3/4 of a unit on the +0.5 and 1/4 unit on the +160. That is if you have to buy into the theory of what I'm selling to you guys here I'm not selling anything, but you know what I'm saying. Figure of words here. This Mariners line opened up at -238. It's gone to -215. 86% of the bets, 97% of the cash on the Mariners, AKA everybody's on the Mariners. By the way, everybody knows now about that Mariners home situation. I love it. I think it's a great trend, but everybody's talking about it. Then we got this line move from 7 to 7.5. 97% of the bets and 94% of the cash on the over. I thought about slamming away on this. I got to be honest. Looking at not that I would lie, but I hate when people say that. Pet peeve of mine. But I digress. Eric Fetty. Let's talk about his numbers. 3.27 ERA, 4-1 on the season. Logan Gilbert, 3.12 ERA, 3-4 on the season. The way if you guys aren't familiar with implied probability as it relates to sports betting, you take the number 100, then you divide it, the spread or what the number is for the line, plus 100. So that makes this a minus 220 plus 100 makes it minus 120. Then you divide the 100 by that number. You're going to see what your implied probability looks like. And when I calculated this earlier today, it was almost a 92% implied probability that Mariners were going to win, meaning 8 times out of 100, the White Sox would win this game. Do I believe that those numbers may be somewhat accurate? 8's not enough. I think that they could win 12 or 13. And that immediately provides you with some reason to consider playing on these White Sox. Now, the White Sox have lost 4 starts in a row for Eric Fetty. Does he lose 5? Are they that bad? If you look at what's going on with this White Sox team, the big move that they made, the acquisition that they made that I thought was pretty significant was bringing in Julks. We talked about him from, I'm sure I didn't say it right, but Julks, Julks. He's the leadoff guy. The thing about the White Sox earlier this season, all their guys were injured. Lou Bob wasn't playing out there. Then they go out there, they acquire this Julks guy from the Houston Astros. He played minor league ball down there for Houston for a stint because there was no way to get him in that shit lineup. And he crushed it. He comes into the White Sox. He's been crushing it. He's been playing very, very well. Again, I went back to you guys and I started off this whole conversation today saying there's not a lot of hitting that has success against these pitchers today. And if you look down the line, this one kind of goes back into it. So we got Nicky Lopez for the White Sox, 7 at-bats, 3 hits, 2 RBIs, a 4.29. Lou Bob, 8 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 RBI. Gavin Sheets, 8 at-bats, 3 hits, no home runs, no ribeyes. Andrew Vaughn, 5 at-bats, no success. Of all the games that are being played today, pretty much the only one that has the numbers that I just read off to you across the board are this game and this White Sox team. I believe Logan Gilbert is a regression candidate. We look at what's going on here, and the lineup, the White Sox lineup is, dead last against righties. There's definitely certain, they're 126 ISO out there when it comes down to it, but things this last week, they're starting to get out there. Look at when I talk about the last 7 days, this is why it matters. You could talk about the beginning of the season with the White Sox. Everybody was hurt. Vaughn was hurt. Lou Bob was hurt. They didn't have Julks in the lineup out there. Ji Young wasn't really much of a factor as well. What's going on this White Sox side of the house? 2.77 against righties. The past week, 331. Huge 50-point gain against all the batters out there now from a righty perspective. The ISO, almost an 80-point improvement in the last week as well, 126 to 204. Now, you got Fetty, who's the best in the lineup for the White Sox. You got the odds telling you that they're only going to win 8 of 100 times. And I just shared that their batting average is 50 OBA better and 80 points better on the ISO. You want to go lay 225 on Seattle Mariners? That's your business. I'm not in that business. I'm in the implied probability, putting all the numbers together, getting that cash business. And I think plus 160 on the first 5 gets us that cash. By the way, not playing terrible in the first 5s. Their bullpen stinks. Their bullpen absolutely sucks. It's terrible. But I think they can get this done. Although, this is another situation for me like Tampa Bay. Do you take the plus 1.5? You can get the plus 1.5 around minus 110. Do you think it's a 1-run game? I don't. I think that probably Seattle Mariners win this game by 2, like a 5-3 type of thing, and it fucks everybody's under up. But I do want this White Sox, and I want that plus 160 because I know if I play it that way, looking at it just kind of, I know I did it quickly for you guys, but looking at the breakdown, the batting averages, the pitching matchups, the numbers on those pitchers, just look at the surface level of their ERAs. You don't have to be an advanced mathematician to look at this thing. Logan Gilbert, 312. Fatty's 327. Is there that much of a difference that this guy should be a plus 160? when you look at the fact that all these numbers are coming on the creep? No, not for me. It's a White Sox spot. I'm going to take the first 5. I'm going to take them plus 160. I'm going to cross my fingers that shit doesn't hit the fan. The White Sox, for the record, first game of the series following a loss, are 1-13. So could be trouble in paradise. But I'm looking for just the first 5. I'm isolating what I think is the opportunity to take advantage here with a pitcher that has not caught the breaks. Call me crazy. Won't be the first time. But also won't be the first time I'm over on the island trying to cash a first 5 at plus 160. Kenny Wood says, hey, Mike, White Sox first 5 in Seattle full game double result. Ken Wood. Let's stop the show and see what we have to do here. Baltimore's already up 1-0. Baltimore, what, they get a leadoff hit? Leadoff hit on Tampa Bay. All that great smack talk that I gave you guys there, and they're already up 1-0. That's all right. They haven't touched the bat yet, Tampa, so not too concerned about that. I'm looking at this game parlays here to see what that looks like, Kenny Wood. Chicago White Sox, first 5, Seattle Mariners, full game, plus 800. You'd also have to probably consider the tie in Seattle at plus 650 if you're going to go that route, but not against it. I think that's a good look as well. And then you guys, the last game of the day we'll talk about here for Major League Baseball. We got something rolling here. Not fucking with that Padres game. No, sir. Minus 1.5, minus 105. Not for me. You got to lay 3 runs on these guys. And they've shown that in the month of June, they can struggle. They're not getting 3 runs is what's happening with the San Diego Padres. And wouldn't it just be fitting that Oakland comes in there and fucks everybody up by taking this Padres team and laying the minus 1.5 at minus 104? That's kind of what I thought about this game. Minus 218 moved to minus 238, 93% of the bets and 92% of the cash. Talk about implied probability. 95% of the time, 94% of the time, this San Diego team's going to win against Oakland. I believe that, with one exception. They had 2 games against Arizona where they scored 13 runs and 10 runs. They had 3 the last game of the series, 3 the first game of the series, a 2, a 1, a 3. They finished off May with an 11. Before that, they had a 1, a 4, a 2. Why are you laying 4.5s? Why are you laying 4.5s with a team that can't get past 3? This is math. This is mathematics. There's other spots out there to go take advantage of in those situations. But if you want to go do it, it's your money. It's your money. I'm on this Houston Astros team, though. We already got the cat out of the bag. We heard it from our guy, Juggler23, earlier. I'm all for it as well. It's game number 67. Oh, by the way, it's Dylan Cease. It's not Dylan Cease of 3 years ago. It's Dylan Cease of this guy can't find his way to the fucking bathroom without someone telling him, holding his hand to get there, for what it's worth. That being said, though, let's look at this Houston Astros team. Some reverse line movement. It's gone for 58% of the bets and 63% of the cash on the Houston Astros. The line went from minus 125 to minus 115. Now, could argue that's stabilizing. Stabilizing meaning a lot of these, this is why I like the first number to hit the street, the very first number. Because the books that are out there, some of the books that don't have limits or will put different limit restrictions on their big bettors, they'll wait to see what those early action plays look like this to decide where their number is going to be. Then, so you're essentially, if you're using somebody else's book and not the very first number on the street, then essentially what you're doing is you're waiting to handicap a handicap number. You're not going to find as big of the edges as you think you might. But that being said, this line opened at minus 125. It's now minus 115. 58% of the bets and 63% of the cash on the Stros. When I talk about it being stabilized, there's no movement on the San Francisco side of things. So it's not really reverse line movement. It's just that a number of the books finally opened that number up again and brought the juice down. Probably because it's Spencer Spaghetti. Eric Getty's rolling out there with a 5.79 ERA. But keep in mind, he puked up, 8 runs his first start? Kyle Harrison on the other side, he's no gem. He's 4.18 ERA on the season as well. And look, San Francisco, I'd like to see Nutflush Arias, Nutflush Allen, in the San Francisco game. One team is hitting 277 versus that pitcher, and the other team's hitting 281 versus the other pitcher. Does that mean it's over? Does that mean we're looking at the over in this game? I could get down with that. I could get down with some over action. I jumped in on this Houston Astros team to me. Look, I'm not going to fuck around with the juju that's involved with this thing. 67 games in the season is this game for the Astros tonight. 67 12 in a row, 12 straight years. They've won the 67th game of the season. We had that, was it the 44th game of the season earlier this year with the Miami Marlins. They beat them Tigers 1-0. Good enough for me. Say no more. I'm not getting in the way of that hex. Plus, I do think that when we look at what's going on, I've had some money on the Giants. They sucked yesterday. It was the last game of the series. I get it. Moving day as well. But some people believe that after they play the Texas Rangers, teams do well that next series. I think the Astros have been underachieving, and talk about teams that need to stack wins. They went out there and they handled that LA Angels team 7-1, 6-1, not from lack of run support that they won that lost this last game of the series, but also hard to beat a team 3 times at home. They're not going to get swept. 9-7 loss was that Angels that last game. My takeaway here, these bats are up and rolling. You look at what's going on in that previous series, a 4-2 loss that last game against the St. Louis Cards. We were on the under. 8-5, they scored before that as well. 8 runs in that spot. I like these hot bats rolling right now for this Astros team. I think there's enough. They got Kyle Tucker back in the lineup is what I saw earlier today. He was out there. He was out previously, and now he's back, and he's rolling as well. They're back to where they should be with this lineup. And I think it's good enough for us to take this Houston team at a great price with all that juju of game number 67 on the line. That's how we get rolling through baseball, you guys. Again, I'll give you just a quick rundown and recap in baseball. We are rolling. I'm on the Rays plus 126, went to plus 130. I got the Colorado over 8, minus 115. The Minnesota first 5 team total over 2.5 at minus 120. I got the Yankees under 8.5 at minus 110. I've got the Nerfy for a little fun there at minus 113. Brewers first 5, minus 110. Brewers full game I got earlier today at minus 112. At minus 120, I would still play it. Implied probability doesn't change, but a point or two in that spot. The White Sox first 5, I got the plus 160, and I closed out the shop with Houston Astros minus 115. Here we go. Let's take a peek at what's going on. We're looking at the WNBA. We got a 7 o'clock start, 53% of the bets and 70% of the cash on the Fever at plus 11. And I was looking at this Fever spot, but it's going to be a scratch for me. It's going to be a scratch. Now, you know what? I'm on it. I'm on the Fever. I'm on the snubbed Caitlin Clark situation out there with the Fever. I know it's plus 11. That's enough points. Juggler 23's WNBA stuff got in my head there, but depending on the book that you see, this number's starting to have that late minute line movement to it. So my official for you guys and why I'm talking like this is because I'm putting the bet in right now. There it is. Plus 11. I had to pay up a little bit for it on DraftKings now at minus 130, but 5 minutes to tip. Look, just a straight play of snubbed Caitlin Clark, and we're now taking the apex or the pinnacle of the move. So we've seen this thing move from 8 to 11. I'm taking the just like the other day. I was on the under in a WNBA game. I took it after it moved. It still ended up going over because it got under the original number, but ended up going over from the late steam in the game. We've talked about that. The sharp bettors early get the best numbers when it comes to the WNBA. We're probably a little bit of a disadvantage there. Shout out to Juggler 23, man. I like that record that they got rolling out there with the WNBA, but I am on the 11, and I see Justin's got 11 in his pocket. Trisha M says, move quick. Moolah, Tampa Bay at plus 165 in that home run by Baltimore. Nutflush says, at Mike, that's in San Francisco. Yeah. That's a good point. What are you saying? Live bet in this Baltimore game, this Tampa-Baltimore spot? What's going on here? I try not to live bet if I'm not watching it. I'm going to sit tight. Guys. The last game here, you guys have been asking about it. Let's get right to business. Right to business up in here. Yeah, you see it. Take it in. Enjoy it. Let's just all take a minute to look at what we have here. What do you want to talk about first? Let's talk about 37 straight penalty kills in a row. Playoffs. 37 straight penalty kills in a row. You can't score on special teams against the Edmonton Oilers. Check. Significant line movement. Plus 126. I got it at plus 110. It's now plus 107. 83% of the bets and 79% of the cash. Love the Cats. Why not? We saw them just shut them down 3-0. No way. There's no way at Panther. They got DJ Khaled opening tonight. Come on. You already know Connor McDavid's favorite artist, DJ Khaled out there. Let's talk about expected goals. High propensity scoring offenses. High probability scoring chances. We just talked about probability based on implied odds in looking at making bets. Now let's look at this Oilers team. Number 1 in the NHL in 5-on-5 high scoring probability chances. High probability scoring opportunities is this Edmonton Oilers. So you got a team that's fast. They're flashy. They got the number 1 spot in the NHL for high probability goal chances, taking risks and getting them guys in there. I still think they're deeper. I don't give a shit. Tell me what you want. Zach Hyman, Ryan Nugent Hopkins, Evander Kane is the second line. Okay. How about goaltending? Stuart Skinner opened up the season. He was 36th in the NHL in regular scoring save percentage. He's moved to 7th. We got the goaltender moving on up. We got by the way, this team just got shut out factor. We know what happens after Edmonton gets shut out, right? You want me to tell you? I'll tell you right now. Where is it? Let me pull it up. The fuck? Where'd it go? All right. 3 times this season, the Edmonton Oilers got shut out. What'd they do after that? They won 5-2. They won 8-4. They won 6-2. They come back and they score in bunches. They punch in bunches. They score in bunches. And I expect it to be a lot of the same tonight. And again, this number is moving with reckless abandon. Teams overall in the NHL this season that got shut out in the revenge spot against the same team are 35-16. Also, I think there's a goal factor here that we're going to find out with this Florida Panthers team. I don't think they get to 2. Home team winning. Opponent scores less than 2 goals. 1-8 to the under. Teams in that spot are averaging 1.8 goals a game. It's going to be a lower scoring game, I do believe here. I hear you guys talking about the overs. I can't get there with the over, but I can tell you this. I just don't see how we don't have a good bounce back fight, especially after coming off the shutout. Think about the travel. Just put yourself in travel position to begin with. It's 3,000 miles from Edmonton to Florida. The longest trip in NHL history for a Stanley Cup Finals. That's going to take some wear and tear on this Edmonton Oilers team. They've had time to stabilize. Maybe they took the morning skate off yesterday and they went and sat by the beach. I don't know. I don't care. I think this is a good opportunity for these boys to bounce back. Number 1 offense in the NHL. Goaltending has made the number 1 move in goaltenders throughout the NHL season. Oh, let's not forget about that sports psychologist factor that goes into the equation. We've seen the Oilers bounce back to the nth degree. We see after the shutout, the Oilers do it better than anybody. We see that the Florida Panthers, after they shut their opponent out, don't score a lot of goals. It's math. It's numbers. I get it. Can anything happen at any given time? Can we see this situation be like the Dallas Mavericks going into Boston and getting beat twice? Anything can happen. But you got to use enough of the building blocks and the stacks in your corner. Shout out the stacks play of the day. To be able to make an informed, educated decision. I think that is what we're doing. It's not emotion. I could give a shit about either of these 2 teams. I prefer the Stanley Cup doesn't go to Canada. That is emotion as an American. But I'm in. This is a good price here for the Edmonton Oilers. If they were going to get busted up, look at this Dallas Mavericks situation. That line was 7 game 1. That line is 7 game 2. Anybody that tells me that Edmonton doesn't have a fighting chance to win this game is a fan. And that's okay. We're all fans. We're all fans. At some way, shape, or form. Peasy says, I got to bet the Oilers just because Florida is bringing that fat ass out there. Dude, my neighbors moved in, and Saturday mornings at like fucking 8 a.m., DJ Khaled is doing a private concert in their backyard, and it is maybe 50 yards from my window, tops, max volume. Let me tell you about DJ Khaled out there. That fucking I can't. Oh man, every Saturday morning. You know how I countered it? I'll tell you how I countered it. At 2 a.m., I got a private concert going on in the backyard. That's how I countered it. Guess what happened? DJ Khaled ain't playing out back anymore. Not in 2024, he's not. That's how you got to roll. You got to meet it fire with fire. Let's go. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, guys. Hit that thumbs up for me. We got to get to work. We got to get that cash. We got a lot of work to do building the channel. Need you guys to stay with us here. We need to build it. We need the subscribers. You got to get in there, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. We're on the quest to 500. Make sure this week you don't miss it. Them boys are hot with the first strike. 2-1 to get things rolling. And they're only getting better at it. I see them already comparing notes. So let's go. Let's have ourselves a big night. Let's see Tampa bounce back here and get things rolling. And let's put the bus in gear on win streak here. We'll see what happens, guys. If you if you guys hit this thing up to 100 likes or you put some comments out there that you want us to go live, I'll see if the boys are around to go out there and have some things happen for us. But appreciate all you guys, man. Stephen Hairston in the house, Fernando Mendoza, Justin McGalvey, Old E, Nut Flush Allen, the team total whisperer. Appreciate him coming in here. Step back Jay, Leonard Porsche, my guy, Peasy in the house. Trisha M. I'd say good luck with your cats, but I need them Oilers tonight. Let's see what we get tonight, you guys. I hope you have a lot of fun. Good luck with your bets, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow. We got pre-gaming over here on Sports Money, guys. Appreciate everyone's support. See you.